Hey guys, what's up? It's MatchPoint here, and in today's video, I'm going to be giving you the 5 common mistakes that you are making in Rainbow Six Siege, and I'm going to be giving you some pointers and some tips on how you can change it. So if you do find this video useful, consider dropping a like on the video, and if there are any topics that you would like me to cover next, make sure to comment them down below so I know you're interested. If you do end up having any questions about the video or the topic itself, make sure to pop by when I'm live on Twitch on Mondays, Wednesdays and Fridays, and we can have a conversation about it there, or in the Discord, which is another great place, and there will be links down below. If you are new around here, welcome, and I hope you enjoyed the video, so let's get on into it. These 5 common mistakes are very common in Siege that players will be making, and we're going to show you how to correct them and move forward. And the first mistake that I'm going to be covering is going to be leaning the wrong way. Now you may be thinking, well, MatchPoint, this is quite a basic one. It's not that hard to lean the wrong way, you should be leaning the correct way most of the time. Well, a lot of players do this in Siege, there are a few misconceptions behind it, but as well there is another advanced layer that I do want to get into about it. Now potentially when picking an angle, players will be leaning the wrong way, which is going to put them at a disadvantage, as the other enemy player is going to see them before you see them. Now there will be an example of somebody incorrectly leaning on your screen right now, and I'm going to be showing you why this is incorrect and how we can correct it. Now this is going to be incorrect because you are completely leaning in the opposite direction to where you are peeking behind the cover. What this is going to do is it's going to allow the enemy to see your body before you are actually peeking around that corner and see them. Instead, in this example, you want to be leaning to the right so your body is behind cover and you are simply peeking at a tight angle around the side. Now that was very basic, I do understand that, but there is an advanced layer to it. I just wanted to get that out of the way, and now we are going to be moving on to the advanced bit. Now, for example, when you are going to be clearing rooms in Siege, which is a big factor and a big aspect of what you need to be doing, it can be quite hard to lean the correct way and keep it there at all times. Now, rule of thumb of what you should be doing is your leaning should be tracking the room's direction. What I mean in this is when you are going to be clearing and you need to lean to the left to clear that other angle, that is what you should be doing. And then you switch it up as soon as you are moving across the room, clearing different directions. There will be an example of this on your screen, and as you can see, my lean is going to be adjusting to the room's shape, and it's going to be adjusting to where somebody could be holding a position when clearing that room. Now the next common mistake that I'm going to be moving on to is going to be not using T-Hunt or custom games. A lot of players do neglect T-Hunt and custom games, and it is incredible for learning. T-Hunt and going into custom games, exploring, learning the maps, learning the features of different operators in T-Hunt is honestly one of the best ways to learn the game. You should be taking more advantage of this, whether you are learning map knowledge, learning operators abilities, whatever it is. T-Hunt and custom games are the go-to. Can be boring, but it is the way to get it done. If you do require a guide for learning map knowledge, there will be a card in the top right. Now the next common mistake that I see players making is going to be not warming up. Players in Siege often don't warm up. Your warm-up is going to depict on how you're going to be starting off this session of playing games in Siege. It really is so important. If you can have a strong warm-up, you'll be playing a lot better in those starting games. Instead, if you don't warm up, you're going to be taking a while to get into the groove of the games. If you do require a guide to warming up with the new season, as obviously House has been taken out, which was a great warm-up map, I have covered a new way to warm up, and that will be a card in the top right if you do need it. The next mistake that I do see a lot of players making in Siege is going to be incorrectly using smoke canisters. Now I did want to pick up on this one, even though it is very specific, purely because I've seen quite a lot of players making this mistake. What you should be doing is trying to save your smoke canisters for the end of the round. Saving them to the end will help you to block off the choke points when the attackers do need to push in. Simply judge it by when the attackers are going to be making a viable push in, and you can actually close off that area. What I do see a lot of players doing is throwing their smoke canisters very early on in the round, which is not a good idea, especially when the attackers aren't going to be most likely pushing in that early, and as well in positions where it's not really going to close off the area or affect the attackers by damaging their health. There is simply no need. The fifth and final common mistake that players are going to be making is incorrectly using the castle barricades. Castle can be a fantastic operator when you know how to use him. He really is a good one. However, a lot of players do get confused because they're not sure on how to correctly use him. With the castle barricades, you want to be making it so the enemies are going to have to break down those barricades, and it's going to slow them down. Whatever you do, please don't barricade your teammates in. What you should be doing is placing them in certain areas that aren't too far away from the map, but at the same time they are close to sight and they can slow the attackers down. Your sole purpose with these as well is to either slow the attackers down, make them waste their utility on it, and as well cover your team. Let me give you an example. For example, on a map like Consular, you've got the two main windows in the console office. Now these two main windows by the front desk are always going to get opened. No matter what, whether it's a castle barricade, they'll be opened. Instead, block off the other windows on the different bomb sites so you can provide your team with a little bit of cover when they are going to be watching it. If you do require any more tips and tricks for Steel Wave or Operator guides which are on the channel, there will be end screens at the end of the video with those guides. And that is going to be it for today's video, guys. I hope you have all enjoyed. If you did or you found this video useful, then make sure to leave a like on the video and subscribe for more tips and tricks like this. And I'll catch you guys in the next one. Bye bye.